care what anyone says, Brad. I am pumped for WrestleMania 42. This is going to be a tremendous card because Elimination Chamber delivered. Let's talk about it. Because right now, as WrestleMania stands, we've got CM Punk defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Roman Reigns. We've got Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship against Randy Orton. Or is he? The Women's Championship, Steph Vaquer, Liv Morgan, and the WWE Women's Championship, one of the ones that I'm most excited about, Jade Cargill defending against Rhea Ripley. Those are 4 blockbuster matchups.
Yes, Dion. Look, I agree with you. I thought Elimination Chamber was 80% of the way there from an in-ring standpoint. I do think they got creative decisions right. I think the storytelling was good. There was a bit of humor chucked in there with the debut of Danhausen, which was humorous, I guess you could say, despite the fact that the Chicago crowd kind of shat all over it, but it is what it is. Look, I really like the direction that they're heading in. I think we're going to get a few more twists and turns as was shown on the post-show, and there's just a couple of things I'd like to add within the matches already announced, and outside of that, I like where we're heading now, given the conversation we had a couple of weeks ago around where WrestleMania is sitting. And I said that they have a chance to do it right if they make the right decisions. And if you read the tea leaves, maybe they are heading in that direction. And yeah, there's a couple of other cards to be laid out.
Yeah,
including including some visionary cards, if I could be a little bit sly and coy, but I really enjoyed Elimination Chamber, Dion, and I sent you a message after 2 matches because, full disclosure, I watched this late because I had to work today, and I said, 2 matches down, great stuff so far, please don't ruin this. Like, I was just really enjoying it, and look, I thought the Punk Balor match was sick, and then didn't love the main event, but creatively it was really well done.
Elimination Chamber has delivered so many iconic moments in WWE history, especially the last few years. You think last year, Cody, with the go F yourself and the John Cena heel turn. The year before that Perth crowd was fantastic. The show itself was fine. The year before that, Sami Zayn, of course, and his championship challenge against Roman Reigns in Montreal. This year, we get Danhausen in a box and Seth Rollins as the masked man. And I'm happy for both of those things. Let's get into some of these matches. Can we start with the men's chamber match?
For sure.
Now, Javon Evans took 8.5 days to get to the ring.
They all did. 27 minutes the intros took. It was longer than the match.
We're 20 minutes into the PLA before the women started locking up, but that's par for the course with modern day wrestling. Now, the night before the elimination, of course, Jey Uso was written out of the Elimination Chamber match, which makes sense now because we needed someone from the Vision in that match. That person happened to be Logan Paul for the return of Seth Rollins to work. Jey Uso was not written out of Elimination Chamber because of fan backlash, like many parts of the IWC claim. He was written in because WWE had to pivot and pivot and pivot. And man, didn't Logan Paul have a good night out? 3 eliminations, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and LA Knight. Got a feel for those 3 before, of course, the Masked Man returneth. When the Masked Man showed up, were you certain it was Seth Rollins at that stage, or did you still have a little bit of an inkling?
The second one, you could tell with the eyes, and once he reaches for the bandana, it could only be one person. So. I'm glad that's what they told. It's certainly what me and you thought was the most likely case. And given the little carrot that they dropped on SmackDown with the Masked Man on Saturday New Zealand time being actually one of Seth Rollins' students at his wrestling school, I'm assuming.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I'm assuming the jabroni that tried to climb the cage tonight is also a member of Seth Rollins' wrestling school. I don't know how I feel because Seth as a face was getting kind of old, but I guess he's got a new coat of paint. But look, let's just see how this plays out from a WrestleMania standpoint. Like Logan Paul and Seth Rollins had a fantastic match at WrestleMania in California, Los Angeles a couple of years ago. I don't want to run that back. We know it's not going to be Bronson. I don't want to see Seth versus Austin Theory. Maybe we're going to get some sort of tag match. I know Bad Bunny's name's been thrown around the traps with Logan Paul, and Logan's certainly been interacting with him from a social media standpoint. I don't hate that. I don't hate Seth Rollins and Bad Bunny versus Austin Theory and Logan Paul if that's what we get. If there is some magical way that Braun Breaker is GTG, then you just shoehorn him into that and you do Seth versus Braun. But I like the reveal. He got a huge pop, probably second biggest pop of the night outside of when Punk came out, and my God, was his entrance epic. But it was predictable, but in a good way. Does that make sense? Like I feel like they did a good job telling that story the way that they have since the Rumble since just before the Rumble. So I didn't hate it.
Yeah. The only thing I was unsure of that made me think that it wasn't Seth was the reveal. It didn't feel like he'd let the pinfall cook for long enough. And I thought, maybe this is Bad Bunny, who's just in a little bit of a hurry just to whip the mask off. But sure enough, Seth Rollins it is. And look, if we do end up having the singles match of Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul, again, running back WrestleMania 39, I think that's still a tremendous matchup. And we're 3 years removed from that match where Logan Paul's had so much more experience, albeit he's had less than whatever it is, 40 matches. I think it could be a real show stealer, that one. And who knows what could happen the next night on Raw. Maybe the Vision 2.0 kicks off. I don't know what the roster for that could look like. But interesting point, I keep forgetting that Braun Breaker potentially could be good to go for WrestleMania. Fingers crossed, because that'll certainly spice that card up.
Yeah, look, no issues with that, and look, I do think that sometimes we get caught in the once in a lifetime match moment when it comes to Mania. But hey, we saw Cody and Roman 2 years on the bounce. We've seen Roman and Brock in some iteration 3 or 4 times at WrestleMania. So I don't think there's a huge issue with a repeat match, especially when the storyline's very, very different. So let's see how the cards fall, as I like to say, Dion. Let's see the dominoes play out and what they come up with. Not overly excited about Seth as a babyface, but look, let's just see how it plays out.
Interesting, isn't it? Just 1 year removed from Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman teaming up. Now, Javon Evans and Trick Williams had great nights, I thought. Could have been better had they gone a little bit deeper into the match. Both men certainly belong in that scene, in that top end of the card. By the way, did you see the pulverizer by Logan Paul on Javon Evans?
Took a bad bump.
Real bad. I think his neck went in ways that necks aren't ordinarily supposed to go. So hopefully he's okay and there's no ongoing issue there. The post-show. Here's where things got really interesting. Nick Aldis getting in the face of Drew McIntyre. We've seen this building for so long. And now the match set for Friday this week in the US. Cody Rhodes challenging Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Drew can't catch a break. But now this does open up a plethora of options. Personally, look, I think Cody's going to win the championship.
So do I.
I did not think this was going to be an option. I think you suggested perhaps it could have been something that was coming. I think he's going to win. I think Cody's going to win. But now, does that mean it will be Cody versus Randy? Will it be Cody versus Randy versus Drew? My initial thoughts were maybe we've got Cody versus Randy, and is Nick Aldis going to step in the ring against Drew McIntyre? I can see that certainly an option. And what of Sammy and Jacob? Because there's still Drew getting involved with both of those guys. You say plenty of cards to fall. I say a lot of water to go under the bridge.
So really much water. And I said to you when a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the Mania card, the biggest match they could make for Cody was Randy, and that was the biggest match, the freshest match they could make to main event a night one of WrestleMania. You got all the history with Legacy. You've got them being, best mates, both in and out of the ring, and there's a storyline you can tell there where who's gonna be the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
So I have a distinct feeling that's where we're going. An interesting sort of tidbit in all this, Dion, is Nick Aldis is a playable character in the WWE 2K26 game that's coming out next week. And sometimes that video game sort of predicts the future in some ways. And so I am, after watching that post show, which you pointed me in the right direction of, I think that's where they're going.
Yeah.
I certainly believe that the torment that Sammy's been going through the last couple of weeks is leading to something with Jacob, and I really, really hope that they reveal Sammy as the guy that attacked Jacob, trying to look for a way to get into the main event picture. And look, you can tell that story a million times with his history with the bloodline and what have you. The only other guy I'd like to see it be potentially would be Cody, but like I think now the Mania card that makes the most sense to me and gives you premium matches is not chucking all 5, 6 of these guys in the ring at the same time. No. It's Cody winning the title by absolute skullduggery involving Sammy and Jacob and Aldis and maybe even Randy. Cody gets a cheap win, which I have no problem with. It sets up Randy and Cody. It gives Drew an out, and it also gives you that point of Drew coming back to it later.
Yeah.
And then you have Drew trying to avenge that loss against Aldis with the friction they've got. Huge match. Nick Aldis is like as Magnus in TNA, he was a huge star for that time, as in as TNA stars get. And then potentially we have Sammy and Jacob, which is 3 marquee matchups like that you can scatter through the card that I have no issue with whatsoever. And I think Randy versus Cody, as I've said, is the next biggest match you can make, so that you've got a big main event on night 1, a big main event on night 2. I think Rhea and Jade is also a pretty big match. I know we'll get to that later with that, but I think that's probably outside of Charlotte Flair. That's the biggest women's match you can make for Jade Cargill. So I think Mania is shaping up nicely. I'd just like to see Miguel Raquel involved in the Raw Women's title match.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's almost like in creative they know what they're doing. And they've had to pivot, and they've had to pivot, and they've had to pivot. And you talk about who Jacob's attacker may be. Now, at the beginning of that storyline, it's not necessarily going to be set in stone that it's going to be Sammy or it's going to be Cody, but they have options with this thing. They still could go either way, and we'll buy it. What I'm finding really interesting is it was just 2 years ago that Cody Rhodes won his first WWE Championship. And when he finally got the monkey off his back, I'm sure you would have felt the same way. This guy is going to be a mega star in the history of this business. He will be a multi-time world champion. The fact that 2 years later he might be heading into WrestleMania 42 as a 3-time WWE champion already, I would not have had that on my bingo card. I could have seen him holding it for 2 years straight, but picking up championship and championship and championship.
Is Randy going for 15 or 16? Is Randy going for 15? Which would what? He's equal with Triple H at the moment, isn't he? So he'd be 15 by himself, wouldn't he? So look, that's huge, man. And that gives you the opportunity. Let's say he wins the title. And I do think it's Randy's time. And I know that sounds really stupid given the guy is at the back end of his career, but like, it just feels like the right time to give Randy Orton, whether or not this is his final title reign or not. Certainly it will add strings and a bow to the Cody Rhodes character, losing to his best friend. But it feels like and I think Randy, like, you're going to be there in 6 weeks' time. I think that could be the pop of the weekend. Is that RKO, the 1-2-3 finish? Though it does scare me now, given that he got the 3 count tonight over Cody, that maybe we won't see that.
Oh, don't read too much into it.
No, I won't. But I like crowning Randy Orton to me would be awesome. And it's a huge match, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
And you know what else I like? And here we are talking like it's a done deal. Drew could win on Friday, and it's going to be a singles match. That's absolutely
or we'll get
a possibility.
This multi-person match. Yeah.
Or we get the multi-person match, or Cody's doing something else.
Or it's Cody and Jacob, right? So,
any number of these things could happen. But what I do like about Cody potentially winning this championship and going into WrestleMania as champion is him being champion at WrestleMania. I think I like the idea of him defending more than chasing at this stage. I feel like for his next big win, and maybe this is a result of that first title win, that we need him having quite a long chase and us desperately wanting him to win the title. I just don't think if he'd won Elimination Chamber and win against Drew, I don't think it would have the same sort of feel. I don't know if we'd all be behind Cody as we certainly have been for WrestleMania 40 and other championship matches.
But isn't Drew making it interesting? Like everything that he's doing, like I know like AEW's been on fire recently with their title picture because they got literally 8 or 9 dudes all going after MJF. And I kind of feel like Drew is making this interesting where, and he talked about it on the post-show, Dion, when he said, I told you that the bullseye is going to be on their back. It's not going to be on mine. And he's literally trying to put out all these little fires and his world's going to explode. And I actually think him being champion has actually made the product better because he's unpredictable. And that's what we like, man. And he's, with Drew that he's a badass, right? And when he's put in a one-on-one situation, he's a badass dude. But he's also got that squirmy little heel trying to back out of stuff, which is really cool. But you do know in the back of your mind he can back it up. So I think he's just made things a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Big week to come. So I'm much the same as you. I think the match was fine. I think the finish was great. And the post show made it even greater. Should we dig into the women's match?
Yeah. Just one before we do. Don't like what they're doing with Charlotte Flair. Like that promo on SmackDown. Don't know if you saw the show last night, Dion, but the promo on SmackDown where she's sitting there eating ice cream. And I know that there's stuff going on with Alexa, and look, who knows where this is all going, but I don't know, man. I just don't like it. And, obviously Rhea winning is huge. And when they lost the titles like yesterday, it made 100% sense. Rhea's where they're going because Jade needs a big, fresh, new opponent. Yeah. And I just wonder if that could have been Charlotte. But look, I'll see what they do with this. Maybe Charlotte and Alexa go back into the women's tag team title picture, or there's some sort of friction between them. But I don't like the ice cream eating stuff. I just don't like it. Like this sad because she didn't qualify for the chamber. Like it just. I don't know. It makes it look. It doesn't make it look like. It doesn't make it look like a Flair.
Yeah, there's something coming. Although ironically, the Irresistible Forces, that's their name now, I think. The Irresistible Forces winning the tag team championship makes me all of a sudden go, not really interested in the tag team championships anymore. And if that match happens to be on SmackDown, so be it. But we'll see what happens. A lot of water to go under the bridge. What I did like, speaking of tag teams, was Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka as singles competitors repping themselves in this Elimination Chamber match. Just having those three in there alone, plus Tiffany Stratton, of course, and Raquel Rodriguez, and we had Kiana James. It felt like almost an all-time roster in the Elimination Chamber, or one of the greats, certainly with Rhea, Alexa, and Asuka. I enjoyed this match. I thought it was sloppy in parts. I'm going to be completely honest. There were some spots that that did not go smooth sailing. The sequence between Rhea and Alexa, I think, when they first locked up was a little bit messy. There were multiple reversals. This stuff happens. They're much better wrestlers than you and I will ever be in a million years of training. I'm well aware of that. And there was that awkward moment where the Tahana bomb, Raquel's Tahana bomb, when she picks up Asuka and had a bit of a chat and then dropped her down. The double pinfall was fantastic. I must admit, I popped when Rhea won that Elimination Chamber match, because this, all of a sudden, I felt that match immediately changed the tone and probably the conversation around this year's WrestleMania, because Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill is a marquee match. And it is a great opportunity for Jade Cargill. She's got the look, she's got the charisma, she's okay in the ring. She now has the opportunity to go against one of the greatest of all time in Rhea Ripley. No matter that her career's got so much ahead of her, she's already sitting in that position where can Jade become one of the greats? Whether Rhea's guiding her along in that match, can Jade hang? Will Jade be seen after this match as a legitimate worker, not just a great attraction? What did you think of Rhea's win? Did you think there were some other opportunities there or other potential winners that could have made that WWE Championship match interesting?
Just Alexa, like the David versus Goliath, Jade versus Alexa. You could have Charlotte almost as the third wheel in that. And I think that would have been interesting. Charlotte doesn't need to be on the Mania card. She's a superstar regardless or not. And even if she was involved in some way, I think that was the only other way I could see them going. I think we're seeing a character shift in Tiffany as well, which I really like. She's less Barbie, more just Tiffany Stratton. Like, I think her gear the last two nights has been absolute fire, and she looks like $1 million. I thought she looked like a bona fide 100% superstar of wrestling today. I thought she looked amazing with her gear, her hair, and everything. And she was the Iron Woman of the match. She did a great job. There, you know, it was the right final two, because there was always in the back of your head, maybe Tiff gets this.
I think that the final three, who were the final three? I believe when we got down to Alexa.
Yes.
Was it not?
No, it was Asuka. Raquel, sorry. It was Raquel. It was Raquel.
Yes, and absolutely.
And that's another story in itself, because why I didn't see Raquel winning, I was hoping there'd be something involved in that match that would lead to her pinfall, not taking a clean fall. I know that she was hit by a massive sort of senton off the top from Rhea, and then the prettiest moonsault ever. And she's obviously going to be a big part of the Stephanie Liv story. I just wish that she was involved in the match, and for me, she should be the person leaving WrestleMania with that title, because she deserves it. It's her time. That could still happen. It could still happen. We saw Bianca, Rhea, and Io involved in a storyline last year. They got all three into it, and Bianca was the winner of the Chamber. So, but as far as Rhea goes, you're right, Dion. It's a huge match, but here's what I want to see. This does not have to be a 15, 20-minute classic. This could be like Goldberg, Brock Lesnar from Mania, whenever it was, sort of a decade ago, where it was 6 or 7 minutes of just hard-hitting brutality, impact move after impact move. It needs to be like a heavyweight boxing fight, Dion. And what I mean by that is a heavyweight boxing fight could last 33 minutes or it could last 33 seconds. And with these two, like, I want to see finisher spamming. I want to see like signature move spamming. And like, I reckon this match it'll be better served not trying to make Jade Cargill out to be the next Mercedes Moné, but just to be Jade Cargill. And her and Rhea just need to beat the crap out of each other over, 6 or 7 minute period, impact move after impact move. And honestly, like, I wouldn't have a problem in making Jade and have her beat Rhea in a match like that. It needs to be like a heavyweight boxing fight where you've got these two Goliaths who can end the match in a second. So let's not kid ourselves into a 20-minute 5-star match. Let's have a 2.5-star match for a 7-minute match.
I think I hear what you're saying, but I think it is WrestleMania. Every match is going to be 12 to 15 minutes. So I can certainly see it'll be hot and heavy and hard hitting to begin with, and then we'll see Jade slow the pace, work some holds. But I'm with you. I would like to think that that Rhea's going to walk away with the championship. If we were making predictions right now, I think it could be fantastic for Jade, depending on how it comes off. But I mean, Rhea's made. Jade can be made by Rhea at this WrestleMania upcoming. Kiana James. I was paying a bit of attention to Kiana. I wanted to see
she's had a great month.
She's had a really great month. I wanted to see how she performed in this Elimination Chamber. I think there were times when I saw a look in her eye, I thought, where you saw the woman behind Kiana James, where not that she was lost, but she was a little bit unsure at times. I thought might be reading a little bit too much into it. I'm really glad she's getting this opportunity. I think she is going to be a big star. And you'd think the fact that she's just pinned Alexa, albeit with the help of Asuka's Mist, and notwithstanding what's going on with Charlotte Flair, perhaps we still are heading towards some form of tag encounter with those two teams. How does that work into WrestleMania? Does it even have to work into WrestleMania? Not everything needs to have the exclamation point at that show. There's still 7 weeks of programming to come. Either way, really happy for Kiana James, up and coming star, and someone who's really going to have a big future.
She's got great energy. She's in the ring, and she showed that at the Rumble, where I think for the first half of the Rumble, she was the MVP of the Rumble. And I like the fact that they gave her the opening spot tonight in the chamber. And she's, like I said, great energy. I think her look is fantastic, man. Like I said to you as you were talking there, she's big. Like she's quite intimidating, right? Like she was in the ring with Rhea and Raquel, who were the Big Daddy Cool Diesel and Undertaker of the women's division, right?
Yeah.
And like she didn't look out of place against those guys. So look, I like it too. She is the mouthpiece for Julia, who's finally starting to get over because, you know, spoiler alert, they're allowing her to wrestle. So look, and I think look, you plot them into this tag team stuff. And like you said, it doesn't need to be at Mania. It could be on the SmackDown the night before Mania, which is where we get the Andre, and maybe we also get some sort of women's multi-woman match, which involves, you know, the Kabuki Warriors, Alexa Charlotte, Kiana Julia, and the Irresistible Forces. So yeah, like congratulations to Kiana. I think Raquel at the end of the day stole the show. She looked like $1 million, Dion. And she, you know, she has been the MVP of the women's division for like the last close to a year. So yeah, enjoyed it. Enjoyed the women's match. The right winner. And little woven storylines in there for us to look forward to in the next 6 weeks.
Then, of course, we got CM Punk, who defended the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor. This was an interesting one because I don't know if many people would have thought that Finn had any chance of taking away this championship, though, in the spirit of we got to change things up sometimes to keep you on your toes.
You never know.
It was a possibility. And now, is Finn Balor and Roman Reigns a big enough match for this year's WrestleMania? It'd be a hell of a match, but I was certainly hoping Punk would come away with the win. How was that entrance, by the way, paying homage to the Chicago Bulls? Man, that was so good. And that's what I like about WWE when they do relate historical events in someone's career or the location that they're at, and they weave them into story, or in this case, entrances. Finn Balor's entrance as well. Man, I'm loving the return of this old music of his. So good. Man, I hope so. I hope so. And it seems to me that Dom has been really quiet as of late, and I know we've been calling for it for months and months and months, but I'm really hoping that we're going to see Dom and Finn at WrestleMania. That we haven't really seen any signs of it, other than post this match, the handshake. Maybe that opens a door for Judgment Day saying, "Hey, you're getting weak, you're getting soft, old man," and they turn on him. How good was the coup de grace into the sharpshooter?
Yeah, it was a great match. Like it was probably the best match of the night. Although I thought AJ Becky slapped as well, just quietly, but it was a good match. Finish was predictable, but hey, like that happens. It's pro wrestling. Most of the time, the finish is predictable. Punk looked great. His entrance was epic. If anyone is a basketball fan from the 80s, you knew that entrance. Also, not the first guy to come out to the ring to that song from Cyrus.
Oh, really?
WWE Network viewers will not know this because it's dubbed over, but that is the original music for Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Oh, of course it is.
Yes. But obviously because they don't want to pay the copyright fee on the network, Ricky Steamboat's got some sort of naff sort of music that doesn't even compare to Cyrus. But look, great entrance. CM Punk, huge crowd moment for him. Big moment for CM Punk, right? Like, given what he's been through the last 10 years. Fun match. Punk heads off now to Roman Reigns. Let's hope Roman is going to be here for the next 7 weeks straight. And we get Punk versus Roman in some sort of promo battle. Hell, even put them in a match together. Have them tag together against someone. Like, why can't Roman wrestle on the road to WrestleMania? Make it happen, man. Like you know, there's talk that you're 15,000 seats a night short of what you want to be. Like, you know, like put them in the ring together. But yeah, digged it. And I think you're gonna get your wish. I can't see any other vision than a Finn Balor versus Dom Mysterio, with some sort of involvement of a JD McDonough, who you know is Finn Balor's best mate in and out of the ring. So yeah, that's where I think we're gonna go. Yeah,
and look, there's no bigger hometown hero in wrestling than CM Punk, is there? It's like
No.
CM Punk is Chicago, Chicago is CM Punk. And I really enjoy that about Chicago. They really back their guy. And it's just a pleasure watching them fawn over him. Now, you said, why can't Roman Reigns wrestle? I will tell you why he can't, Brad.
Yeah.
We have had so many injuries in the last few weeks.
No.
I will not stand for another. I was very happy to see CM Punk.
Could happen to anyone.
It could happen to anyone, but it can't happen to CM Punk and Roman Reigns, Brad. Not this year.
So
not this year.
Is the Booker and you not putting Punk in the ring now for 7 weeks?
Look, the CM Punk fan in me, who has endured so many long-term injuries in this revival of CM Punk's career, was very happy to see the end of that match. The handshake, wrap that man in cotton wool, put him on ice, don't have him throw a punch until WrestleMania 42. Obviously, there's going to be some physicality, and we'll probably see Punk in the ring.
Like, and look, I know we got a fantastic promo last month, right? It was the promo of the decade. Like, it was epic. But as we head to this match now, like, it happened with Cody and John last year, right? Where the promos got progressively more mid, if I could be so brash. If I could be so brash. Like, how do you tell the story now? And look, Roman's going to be on Raw on Tuesday, NZT. He tweeted that out, and Punk said a really funny comment of he's got time to tweet, but doesn't have time to come to Chicago. But like,
that's an interesting question.
There's only so much gold these guys can produce on the mic. So do you have like remember the Cody Rock brawl from a couple of years ago? Like, man, like, have some sort of control, like, show us the hate. Yeah. Show us the hate.
Well, that's what I've appreciated about Cody Rhodes in the last maybe 2 or 3 months, is him getting so heated instead of the cool, calm, and collected Cody Rhodes. We've seen him just get so wound up and so angry and loud in these promos, and it lifts me up. It makes me want to see him get his hands on XYZ opponent. Yeah, it's a really interesting question, a very good question, because in my head, there's no need for story other than the fact that we've got 2 of the best to do it in modern times, 2 that are great on the mic, they're fantastic in the ring, that they can just trade barbs on the microphone. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's not enough. Does it need to be story? In years gone by, we've seen opponents go to each other's houses and do a friggin' home invasion sort of angle. We don't need that with these 2, but I think you might have a point. It may be as simple as having some heated brawls and them having to keep these guys separated. It can be that simple. It doesn't need to be as much as we talk about wrapping story around matches.
Or have a moment where there's some carnage going on in the ring with Becky and AJ and Punk and whoever, and Roman spears AJ by accident. Like, have something like that. You know, like, just keep this personal stuff going. And, Punk would have read the reports that a lot of people believe Roman won that promo battle. And that'll hit him hard. Yeah. And I'll imagine he's got some pretty good stuff in the back pocket.
Yeah.
And look, I imagine we're going to get 2 or 3 more really, really good promos.
Yeah.
And you could include Paul Heyman in this too, let's be honest.
Well, he's got enough going on. He's got enough.
I know he does, but yeah, like, I don't know. I just, I feel like we just need a little bit more than another 6 AAA outstanding A+++ promos.
Fair. I'm going to write it down. Let's book that. Roman Reigns to spear AJ. Is that LEE?
Yes, yeah. And just on AJ, what do you think of her match, Dion? I thought it was a great match. Like, let's have a think about this for a sec, folks. It's her first singles match in 11 years.
Yeah.
Right? And I was expecting not much.
Yes.
And Becky is one of the best in the world and certainly brought the best out of it. And the stuff with her and Jessica Carr is just great storytelling. And it's been ongoing, which is awesome. We're obviously setting up for something that probably will also involve Natalya and maybe Maxine as well, although I hope not at Mania. But yeah, great for AJ. I thought the match was excellent. I thought that the false finishes were good. And I think, kudos to Becky for carrying AJ through that match. There were a few sloppy spots. I think the end was AJ maybe forgot her mark right at the very end there, but Becky sort of kept her composure and they got to the right finish. But
Yeah.
what did you think? I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, I thought she was great. I mean, look, she looked great. The fact that this is her first singles match in eons, and that she performed in that manner was a real testament to her. I'm sure her and CM Punk have been working together extensively in the ring. I'm sure her and Becky probably have had a few workouts to try and get this one right. She's never been the greatest worker in the world, but she's not a bad worker at all. You know, and you could see the difference between her and Becky, I thought, in that one. Again, notwithstanding the fact that she's been out of the ring for 10, 11 years or whatever it's been. Sure. But yeah, I thought she did great. I thought it was a fun match. It made sense now to me as to why this wasn't at WrestleMania. Again, the bookers know what they're doing. We can see what may be coming. What I thought was a lot of fun was the involvement of Jessica Carr.
Yes.
Which then made me think, will Becky get a rematch?
She's a trained wrestler, you know, Jess.
She is. Could we see Jessica Carr involved in a triple threat match with those two at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship? I know that's wild, but stranger things have happened. Could we see Jessica and Becky in a singles match at Mania? Snooki worked WrestleMania, so I'm pretty sure it's okay if Jessica Carr does. If we were moving sideways with Becky Lynch, because they just have to get physical at some stage. They just have to. There's no point of continuously just having these bad referee calls or so-called bad referee calls. Could be something coming at Backlash. Who knows? Either way, I'd be quite happy with Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Call me crazy.
Does it as what did Wade Barrett say? It tingles his loins. Does it tingle your loins? A triple threat match between Becky, AJ, and Natalya? Because for me, Dion, if Natalya is not involved in this WrestleMania match, it completely nullifies what happened at the Royal Rumble when she threw Becky out, and the last couple of weeks where she's literally looked like Brock Lesnar, the female version, right? Like, so if you read between the lines, it can only make sense that Natalya is going to be put into this program with these two because she's got beef with both of them.
Yeah, or like you said, you know, are we going to have Maxine Dupree in there as well, and it becomes this four-way? But what's the point of the Jessica Carr stuff? Unless it's as straightforward as Jessica just happens to be the referee in this singles match, this triple threat or the fatal four-way, whatever it may be.
And this Jessica Carr stuff has gone back months, right? Yeah. She's been involved in all of the matches where Becky has beef with the officials.
Yeah. So it's going somewhere. I don't know where. And I do like the fact that this Elimination Chamber has answered a lot of questions. But again, we're still 7 weeks out from WrestleMania night. And the fact that we're still unsure about a few things is good. It is a good thing.
Can I throw you some quick fire questions?
I may not throw you some quick fire answers, but you're welcome to ask.
Who is Gunther's opponent at WrestleMania?
Oh, dude, who is Gunther's opponent at WrestleMania? I really don't know. I can't see him coming out and answering Brock Lesnar's challenge.
No, I'm going to ask you that question in a sec, so don't say Brock. I think it's going to be Ray.
I was about to say, I think it's going to be Ray. So.
Yeah. Who is Brock Lesnar's mystery opponent?
Brock Lesnar's mystery opponent better not be LA Knight, but it might be LA Knight. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just makes no sense to me. But I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see who the mystery opponent is until week of, if not at Mania. I've been staying away from the dirt sheets. I want to be surprised by this year's Mania.
They're not saying
interested
anything.
In the rumors. Great. I don't mind you disclosing it now. I mean, it's not going to. I'm going to Vegas regardless, baby.
Yeah.
But I find it very interesting that Brock Lesnar is booked for every single Raw leading up to Mania. That is costing them a lot of money. Yeah. This has to be a very big story. I just don't feel like LA Knight is the guy. I don't think Gunther's the guy. Feels like the IWC, us included, are the only ones that have been talking about Brock and Gunther for some time. Who do you think it is?
It'll be one of two people, in my humble opinion. It'll be Royce Keys or Obafemi.
Oh, God, why didn't I think of Obafemi? Of course.
Yeah, so
Obafemi is my answer.
And I think you keep them apart. You know what I'd love to see in the next 6 weeks is Kit Wilson come out and answer the challenge at some point to Brock and just call him toxic and all that. I think that would be magnificent, Dion.
Yeah.
Why
would Oba not answer the challenge
Well,
on Monday? That's the question.
At the moment, I guess at the moment he's competing for the attention of Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, who are both keen to sign him. I certainly think that the best way to tell this would be for Brock to just dismiss multiple people who say, I want to be your challenger, and maybe F5 them 17 times in the ring, and then
like that.
the final boss is Obafemi, right? And that's the Raw before Mania. Yeah. As Obafemi's music hits, and he just walks out, and Brock looks at Paul Heyman and goes, who the F is this guy? You know, like, so Brock doesn't even know who well, he knows who he is because they're in the Rumble, but surely it has to be Obafemi.
Yeah.
All right. So
can I just answer that one again?
Yes.
I think it'll be Obafemi.
You're a good man. Now, when you go back into post-production, you can edit that in, and the last 4 minutes can just be deleted for no one to see. All right. Does LA Knight get a WrestleMania match?
I think LA Knight will get a multi-person WrestleMania match. I don't think he's going to get a singles match this year. I really feel for the guy, and even the way he was eliminated here in the Elimination Chamber. I fear the ship has sailed. It's never too late. As we've said multiple times, it takes one good promo, it takes one good match. But man, there was a time where I thought he'd hold the WWE Championship. I just can't see it now. Yeah.
Right. And final quick fire question. Out of the following 3 gentlemen who all happen to be on SmackDown, who do you think is going to turn heel? Because I believe one of them certainly will. Sami Zayn, Randy Orton, or Cody Rhodes?
Sami Zayn. Yeah. 100% Sami Zayn. What about you on those last 2 questions?
I think it's Sami too, but I think look, WrestleMania in 12 months' time is in Saudi Arabia. Sami Zayn is the biggest star they've got. I wouldn't be surprised if we are telling a 12-month Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan story here for Sami to win the title in 12 months. But I think Sami turning heel and having an edge to his character would certainly help him. But and you're right. We have seen a more edgier Cody. I think it's almost impossible to turn Randy Orton heel now, because we as a wrestling audience appreciate what we've got now, because once it's gone, we never get to see it again. We've lost 2 of the biggest stars of the industry. I can't believe I'm saying this, in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
AJ Styles and John Cena's careers kind of just intertwined, right? Like, they were leading their companies, whether it be New Japan, TNA, or WWE, from about 2003 till, recently. And, Randy is one of those, like, it's the guys that we grew up watching, Dion. Like, I was thinking about it when I was watching him tonight. Like, I've seen every single one of his pay-per-view matches. Which is insane, right?
Yeah.
And like, I think it's impossible to turn him heel now, because I think pro wrestling fans feel the same as me, and we just want to see the RKO.
Yeah.
And I think having him turn heel would be a mistake, because I think Cody's going to get booed out of the building when you're at WrestleMania in 7 weeks' time, and it's because I think 93% of the people in that audience are going to want Randy Orton to win that match, and he's going to be over like Rover.
Yeah, I think you're right. And the only way Randy turns heel is if Cody wins on Friday in the US, and they want the traditional heel versus face thing. I don't think,
but it doesn't need it,
really need to. Nah,
because there's so much history there.
Yeah, I could see Randy winning at Mania and holding through to SummerSlam, losing to Gunther, championship versus retirement match. It feels he's got to be pretty close, right?
Well, but a lot of people, like, there's a lot of chat that he is dealing with a lot of injuries, especially his back, which is why he's only been back for 2 months, 2-3 months at a time. So, talk about cotton wool,
and they can protect him. He can hold for 3, 4, 5 months, and defends once every 4-6 weeks. Yeah.
And one more quick fire question before I go, before you move on.
Sure.
Boy, were we wrong about AJ Styles. Just in terms of the fact that, like, we believed it, but we didn't. And I mean, like, if people haven't seen the interview he did with Anderson and Gallows, he's confirmed 2 things. One, he never actually considered AEW, and B, he signed a long-term contract with WWE to particularly work down at NXT with the team down there. And can you imagine learning off Shawn Michaels and frickin' AJ Styles
Oh my
if you're a
goodness.
young wrestler. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck, man?
Yeah.
You're talking about the two greatest in-ring performers of their generation. That's insane, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought we would see more AJ Styles beat an AEW or TNA, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it hurts the heart, Dion. It hurts the heart. Given what happened in Australia in the middle of last year with John and AJ, and now both those guys are gone, man, it just wrestling is an interesting thing to love. And yeah, it's look, it doesn't bring a tear to my eye because we have the network or we have Netflix and we can go back and watch these matches. But AJ Styles and John Cena are done.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yep, they are done. And yeah, we'll certainly miss them in action, won't we? My last question to you about this whole WrestleMania main event is I shall begin with a statement. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk will be the match that is pushed as the main event of WrestleMania Night 2. I have no doubt about that.
Yes.
What will main event Night 1? Will it be the WWE Championship? Or will it be one of the women's championship matches that main events that night? Or could it be something else?
No, it'll be Randy. Look, if it's Randy and Cody, it's 100 million% Randy and Cody that main events. I think if you'd been able to tell this Jade Rhea story since maybe August, I honestly, Dion, I think the only women's match in WWE that could main event over a men's match outside of Roman Punk would be Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Like, I think those are the only two women that are at, like, I think you could probably, because Becky, Rhea has been done, right? Like, sure, if Mercedes Moné came back to WWE or Sasha Banks, whatever you want to call her, absolutely her and a numerous amount of, her and Rhea would be a banger and would main event. But I kind of feel like I just don't think Rhea and Jade's not, she's not there. She's not main event Night 1 there. But it just, to me, it has to be Randy and Randy and Cody. If it is Randy, look, if it's Randy and Drew, then how, man? Then we're open. We're like, she's all on. Like she's all on. But I can't, like, Stephanie's not there. Liv's there with the right opponent, but Stephanie's not that right opponent. So that, to me, that's the only thing that makes sense. Like, you can't do Brock, and if it's Brock and Obi, you can't do Brock and Oba. Like, yeah. What about you? Like, I can't see it. I can't see any other match main eventing Night 1.
Yeah, the only one that has any form of potential to knock the WWE Championship match off the perch of the Night 1 main event would be Rhea and Jade for me. But it'd be very tough. I think it might have been Mania 39 or 40. I think it was 39 in the post press conference. Was that the year that it was Rhea and Charlotte? Were they at 39? Yeah, they were at 39. They were 39, 100%. The question was asked, why didn't that main event? And the answer was because it wasn't the biggest story. So depending on maybe how the next 4 or 6 weeks play out, who knows where we're going to be at with Jade and Rhea. I don't think it will knock them off the perch, but again, it's the only one that I think potentially.
Yeah, and look, in any other WrestleMania year, there's two matches that stick out for me because you had Cody Roman Night 2 of 39 and you had the Usos and Sammy and Kevin. That was the biggest storyline. Those two matches were the biggest storyline. But Charlotte and Rhea absolutely 1,000,000% was WrestleMania main event worthy. And it was the opening match of 40, and that was Becky and Rhea as well. But you had Rock and Roman versus Seth and Cody. You're never taking that out of the main event spot. So I think in any other Mania year, those the combination of those three women could have main evented those two Manias. They were just up against humongous tag team matches that had years and years of storyline behind them.
Yeah. Hey, we also had a box that got opened at Elimination Chamber, and if you have not gotten your eyes and ears around Danhausen in the past, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a real treat because he is very nice, very evil, and loves to curse. Now, the fact that...
Well, he's cursed this whole Mania card, sir.
Well, or did he uncurse it? Because people thought it was cursed beforehand, and now it's looking really good, my opinion. I'm so happy Danhausen's here. It was heavily rumored in the last week that he was going to be the guy in the box. incredible talent from a character perspective. Fine in the ring. There's going to be a lot of fun TV coming up in WWE over the next, hopefully, a long time with Danhausen. He's so entertaining, so unique in his presentation. Fell a bit flat with the live crowd, which I think probably meant one of two things to me. I know you're leaning towards the second thing. The first thing for me was that maybe people thought it was going to be a bigger star, a Chris Jericho or a whoever. The second would be that potentially people had no idea who this was because they didn't follow AEW. It's probably both of those things combined. Personally, I was very happy to see that it was him. Your thoughts on Danhausen, on the reaction of the Chicago faithful, who are a wrestling town, who are an AEW wrestling town, or certainly have been in years gone by. You surprised by the reaction or lack thereof?
A little bit, but he did get a pop when the Titantron sort of hit, and then I think, like average Joe wrestling fan was just kind of like, who the hell is this guy? And look, it was a bit weird if you've never seen the Danhausen character before. And look, I go back to Powerhouse Hobbs / Royce Keys at the Royal Rumble, and look, Saudi audience is very different. But mate, you could have heard a feather drop in that building when Royce Keys, and Dave Meltzer on his podcast alluded to that, and then said, well, they don't have AEW on television in Saudi Arabia. And like, mate, Dave, you just told the story. And when Danhausen came out, my children were like, who the F? And my wife,
really?
Who the hell is this guy?
What did they think? They think there's what is this weird thing?
My wife thought it was creepy, and
she's going to love Danhausen.
Yeah, and
I'm going to write that down. Colleen will love Danhausen.
My son thinks he's a jobber, right? So,
well, your son might be right, but he's going to be an entertaining jobber.
But like Dion, I not everyone is me and you. Not everyone is the 600 to 700,000 sickos that watch AEW every week, right? In the US, that is. I mean, like my understanding here is, I don't even know if it's on SBM, but in New Zealand, it was getting about 400 to 600 watches a week on ESPN, AEW. 400 to 600. I think it maxed out at about 1,300. That's what I've been told from people within Sky Television around what AEW ratings were doing on a Thursday afternoon. Not a great time. So I just don't think a majority of the wrestling world knows that WWE has an opposition in AEW, because they don't have a massive global reach, right? Like they're big in the UK, yep, 100%. But outside of that, this is why they haven't gone to France, they haven't gone to Italy, they haven't gone to big shows in Scotland, because they're not as big. And I just don't think a lot of people know who Danhausen is. I mean, I've only seen him wrestle a couple of times. I know who he is because I watch wrestling. But I think Powerhouse Hobbs / Royce Keys falls into the same department. It looks as impressive as hell, but if you haven't watched AEW program, you have no idea who Royce Keys is.
Yeah,
none.
You know what's interesting? That's just popped into my head. Sorry to cut. I apologize for cutting you off.
I've sort of wrapped.
Okay, perfect. Then I withdraw my apology.
Yes.
MJF.
Yeah.
What happens if MJF shows up at WWE Raw? Would the expectation be that there would be a larger amount of the casual fan who would even know who he is? I mean, look, AEW is largely watched by smart marks. That is a statement that has no scientific backing at all, but that's what we believe, right? That there's less casual. Well, this has to be fact. There are less casual fans that watch AEW than do watch WWE, because WWE is intergenerational, and it's more than professional wrestling, right?
Yeah.
What happens if an MJF shows up? He's certainly going to get a bigger pop, because there's a good portion of those WWE fans in that live arena who are, yes, lifers, but also follow AEW, or at least know what AEW is. I feel it would be wildly different, but do we think he might not be as over as he could be because he's an AEW guy and the casual fan doesn't know who he is?
What a tremendous point you make. And okay, so bear with me. So the AEW audience is different because they're me and you. They watch wrestling. So I look at Adam Cole's debut in AEW, massive pop, huge pop, right? And then I even look with Andrade's return recently, huge pop. Now, look at the cases of Andrade, Rusev, and Aleister Black. Out of sight and out of mind in WWE for 6 years. They come out to crickets because WWE fans forget. And they're, you know, like, and when Rusev came back, people wanted to chant Rusev Day. He comes back as this mean Bulgarian. They're like, okay, well, where's the fun gone? Aleister Black's really struggled to connect to the audience, and Andrade never did, despite the fact that his look at Rey Fenix. Now, Penta is different because Penta has got charisma coming out of every single part of his body, right? Like, he is charismatic.
And he was pushed. They pushed him pretty hard to start with, to be fair.
Rey Fenix has really struggled because not a lot of people know who he is. Now, MJF is an interesting case study because my kids know who MJF is. Do you know why? He was in the Happy Gilmore sequel.
Because he was in the Happy Gilmore sequel,
right? So that and like they're like, oh, Dad, that's the guy that wrestles, because they you know, like, and he wrestles in WWE's opposition, and so they know who he is. And I think look, every wrestling fan knows who MJF is, right? He's huge, he's humongous, he's the reason why AEW's on fire at the moment. Please keep him champion for as long as time. I think he would get a massive pop. But he's the exception to the rule. I think Hangman Page would go down like a cup of cold sick in WWE. I think the Young Bucks would get a pop, Dion. I do. I think the Young Bucks would get a pop. Jack Perry, nah. Luchasaurus, nah. Like, none of these AEW originals. Daniel Garcia, nah. Wheeler Yuta, nah. Like, Britt Baker, maybe, because
what about Ricky Saints?
But even he struggled, right? Like, he's been on NXT. He's been on NXT.
I think he's struggled since, but he and Ethan Page, when they came in, and there is an argument that NXT fans are amongst the smartest.
More AEW like,
correct,
100%.
Correct. So, but they did have a great reception, and Ethan Page is going great guns.
He's killing it, but my kids know who those two people are now because they watch NXT recaps on YouTube every week.
Right,
and Ethan's a massive fan of Ricky Saints. Because he sees them on NXT, right? Like, they know who Javon Evans is, right? Who like, and they knew who Trick Williams was, because they watch NXT on YouTube. But if I'm trying to think of a Trick Williams, if Wardlow showed up on WWE programming, they'd be like, Dad, who is this guy?
Yeah, good. That's an absolutely fair call.
Whereas anyone from NXT, or like, they don't know who Blake Monroe is barely, like Mariah May, right? Like, and she's struggled to connect to the WWE audience a little bit.
Yeah.
Jordan Grace has as well, because she's come from TNA. Like, I think the WWE audience is just WWE, and it's the same thing in MMA. Like, people call mixed martial arts UFC. That's not what it's called, folks. It's called mixed martial arts. But UFC have managed to establish this, like, brand for themselves, where you think mixed martial arts, you immediately associate it with UFC.
Yeah.
And I think probably 60% of the wrestling watching world think that WWE is the only thing that exists.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've been really making a point of watching AEW lately, and
it's been great.
It's been fantastic. Look, full disclosure, I'm only watching Dynamite. I've only got so many hours in my day, but Dynamite, it's been Dynamite. And the difference between the programming between WWE and AEW is almost night and day. There's certainly time for promos in AEW. There's certainly time for story, but there really is a very heavy focus on the in-ring action.
And the promos are not good.
The promos are okay.
I think if MJF or Swerve are involved in promos, they're good. But like, or Don Callis is a good promo, but like, he's a team who Paul Heyman at the end of the day. But the in-ring action is second to none. Man. Like, if you want bow to bow ring action, it's awesome.
It really is great. And look, every week on Dynamite, there's a match on there that should damn near headline a pay-per-view. We had Swerve and Kenny Omega a couple of weeks back, and that was a great match.
It was really
and they're given away on free weekly TV. Hangman Adam Page, by the way, the guy that you don't rate. I finally figured out what it is. The guy's experienced. The guy's worked in Japan. He's worked in AEW. He's a former world champion, and once again,
he's a good wrestler,
a better wrestler than you or I could ever dream of being, with a million years of training. I don't believe him.
No,
I just don't. Believe
Who are
that.
you, bro? Like, who are you?
And I'm not saying I don't believe you're not a hangman or a cowboy or whatever. I believe he is. I see him playing a character.
Me too. Whereas MJF is MJF.
100%.
Yeah. Right. And like, and to a lesser degree, a guy like Fletcher, young Fletcher, the Australian boy, man, like you look at him and you believe that he believes he's the greatest wrestler on the planet right now.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay the same, because that dude just oozes charisma and believability. Kenny Omega. But yeah, Adam Page for me, man, just does not connect with me in any way. And you're right, you hit the nail on the head. I just don't believe you, bro.
Yeah.
Don't believe you.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a lovely, lovely chappy, and he's got a big career.
We should do a deep dive into AEW with David Dunnett sometime soon, because I know he is a massive AEW fan.
Yeah, that's good.
He's been to live events, and just be really good as we head into Mania season. I think just for our wider fans out there, just to get a lay of the land of where AEW is at, what's working, what's not working, because he's been a fan since day one. Yep. I've gone in and out of AEW. Like the last year and a half has been terrible, but since the turn of the year, the stuff they've been putting on is the best wrestling product on the planet right now.
Yeah, it really is. You got to get around it, folks. If you've got time,
TNA is very good now too, though.
So much.
I've watched the last 2 TNA shows. They're cooking, man. They're really cooking.
Triple A's doing okay as well. CMLL, if you listen to Dave, is the greatest thing on the planet. I haven't got my eyes around that one just yet. But Elimination Chamber is in the books. And WrestleMania, I'm telling you right now, Brad, I've been excited for WrestleMania for the last 3 or 4 months. Then it waned, and it is back 7 weeks away, WrestleMania, and this card is looking like it's going to shape up to be a goodie, to be a real goodie.
I have one WrestleMania wish.
Oh, what is it?
Please,
do you want me to streak?
Please, no. Please, Paul Levesque. Please give me the Usos versus the Lucha Bros. Please. That's all I want for WrestleMania. Is the Lucha Bros and the Usos in a tag team match. Thank you.
I like that. All right, folks, thank you so much for sticking with us. If you want to find out a little bit more about us, please head to our website, www.thatsweetpop.com. You can catch us right here on YouTube each week, as well as on YouTube Music, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, or catch us on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. All right, Brad, same time, same place-ish next week.
Can't wait.
Beautiful. All right, thanks everyone. Until next week, have a good one.